The fields of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. Enjoy being educated in such topics as personal injury law, community association law, family law, bankruptcy law, along with health show topics like pain management, men's health, and dental implants. Now, sit back and enjoy today's Ask the Experts with host Steve-O.
Well, it's so easy now saying good evening now that it's dark this time at night. You know, when it's light outside at 6 o'clock, it's kind of hard to say good evening. Hey, welcome to the Ask the Expert show. I'm host Steve O. And what makes this show so great is our expert tonight. It is without a doubt the hottest show of all of our shows that we have had. The phones ring off the wall. We are doing our community association law show tonight, and our experts are Kay Bender Rimbaum, the top law firm in Florida, because they're not just here in South Florida. And I got to tell you, I mean, the phones are ringing off the wall already. So, and we've got Robert Kay. He's one of the senior partners of the firm. And this is like the easiest show to do. We just let all of our listeners do all the work. So, um, you know what? Some of them have been holding for a while, Robert. Let's get a couple of them off the phone and then we'll tell everybody about the firm. Let's go to Hugh in Boca.
Hey, good evening. I'm here in Boca in an HOA. We're doing our annual meeting via proxy, and the management company is counting the ballots with a member of the board that's not running. Can proxies also be turned into the physical location that we're going to have for the annual meeting with limited attendees?
You're asking if proxies can be physically delivered to the meeting where there's the official meeting place?
That's correct, and added to the already totaled ones that the management company counted.
Well, without seeing the specific language of the notice of the meeting, I would generally say yes, that proxies are typically allowed to be delivered up to the point of the meeting beginning, even during the meeting. Sometimes proxies come in after the meeting if it isn't a completed meeting, if it's recessed to a later time, but most certainly they should be accepting proxies that are delivered at the meeting site.
Perfect. That's all I needed to know. Thank you.
All right. Good luck with it.
Thank you, Hugh. Let's go to Bill in West Palm. Hi,
Hello,
Bill, and
good
thanks
evening.
for waiting.
Oh, my pleasure. I live in a homeowners association, which is also has a property owners association above it. I'm in Riverbridge. There's a lot of houses, and I have a private house that sits on my own plot of land, and the POA is towing cars out of people's personal private driveways. Is that legal? I mean, I can understand that they could tow a car out of a common area, you know, if it was on a street or a common parking lot, but are they allowed to come onto a homeowner's private property and tow something off a homeowner's private property?
Generally speaking, if the property, the entire property is subject to the declaration of covenants that creates the POA, and the POA has within the covenants vehicle limitations or restrictions, which would mean a vehicle being parked in the private lot is in violation. The statute does allow the POA to come onto the private property and remove it under those circumstances, so long as they've met all the requirements of the towing statute, which is Section 715.07 of Florida statutes. If you want to check on the specific requirements, signage and location of the lot that it's towed to, and availability of the lot owner to be accessed 24/7. generally speaking, it isn't just common areas that they can tow from. They can actually enter onto a lot if the documents are in accordance with all of those things.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Okay.
Right.
Thanks for listening.
Bill. And let's just get Don from
Yes,
Ormond Beach.
right. Yeah, thanks for taking my
Sure.
question. My question is relative to an HOA. Can an HOA establish a special assessment for to cover ongoing operating expenses?
It sounds like what you're talking about is perhaps a budgetary shortfall. They adopt a budget, they don't have enough money to cover for it. It's a basic regular expense.
Exactly.
The answer is going to be yes. There is case law in Florida that provides that when an association needs to generate funds for its bona fide operation purposes within its governing documents, the board has the entitlement and generally must assess the owners. That's the only way the association can secure the funds it needs to meet its obligations and fulfill those duties. So special assessment is certainly an option that the board can and should undertake under those circumstances. Better to get your budget right in the first place.
Since it's an operating expense, it would require another special assessment a year from now, correct?
Or they could, when they do their next budget, anticipate it and incorporate it into it.
Well, that they don't want to be tagged with a budget increase. They want to handle it with special assessments.
Now, well, a lot of places will do that. It's a little dishonest to the community when you're presenting yourselves with assessments at a certain level when they really aren't. But
right. Okay.
Good. Diligent purchasers can find out. Okay. Thanks for listening.
Okay.
Thanks, Don. Wow, phones are just gone crazy. You know, let's introduce. This is Robert Kay. He's one of the senior partners of Kay Bender Rimbaum, and explain to the listeners, because we are getting new listeners every month, and now with 4 stations, just kind of introduce yourself again and tell people what a community association law firm does.
Well, Kay Bender Rimbaum is a full-service law firm, although we focus our area of concentration on community associations, being condominium association, homeowner association, cooperatives, and we handle ability of the board to take action or not take action on certain specified circumstances. The dealing with outside contractors, negotiating contracts, pursuing construction defect lawsuits, pursuing general civil matters against violations within the community. Pretty much A to Z, soup to nuts. We meet with the boards, we attend board meetings, we attend annual meetings if requested. Anything they need, all the time. We're the go-to.
Most of your attorneys are certified also.
We're certified by the Florida Bar. There was a certification created 2 years ago. There's about 130 or so in the state of Florida, of which we have 9 of them in our firm, 9 out of the 19 attorneys. So we do have a pretty good percentage of board certified attorneys working on these issues for our clients.
Well, if you'd like to, we have one line open. You can call us here at 888-565-1470 if you've got a question, especially if you're a board member. You can give us a call here. And we have another call. I believe we have Larry. Hi, Larry.
How you doing?
Good, Larry. You have a question for Robert?
Yes, we have just recently had someone move in. I'm in a condominium without an application or lease application. Just moved in because the owner, which is in Canada, thinks he's a good guy. What's our options?
Wait, say that again?
This guy moved in, a friend of the owner, without going through the lease application or the process for the condo.
Oh, and I assume your documents.
Yes. Requires an interview and credit check, criminal background check, all that, and a fee. Just moved in because the owner, which is in Canada, thinks he's a good guy. What's our option?
Oh, okay, so he's in there by himself?
Yes.
Okay, well, generally your options are you make a formal demand for him to submit to the application and approval process. And if he does not do that, then you can pursue legal action to compel that through arbitration with the Division of Condominiums arbitration section. Generally speaking, if you are claiming to disapprove somebody just because they didn't seek advance approval, that's a case that courts are not favorable on. So you would have to go through the process of making the attempt. Go ahead.
Right. Yes. He's pulled the same maneuver before, or just won't do the application. So the demand goes to the homeowner or to the person that's lived there, which we don't know who it is, actually.
Both of them. You can make your written demand to the unit occupant. You're sending it by mail, it'll be delivered there, and to the owner. If they ignore you, then you can pursue legal action either to compel them to submit the application or to compel the removal of the unapproved occupant. The first lawsuit goes to arbitration. The second would go to the courts.
Oh, I understand. Okay. And then the association has to pay all the legal fees, or it can go back onto the unit owner who didn't go through the procedures?
If you file a lawsuit and you're the prevailing party, you would get a judgment for all or portion of your fees, depending on the arbitrator or the judge. And then you'd have to collect it from the owner back, unless your documents allow for you to assess for them, which it may or may not. Typically, that's added by amendment. It's not in original documents.
Right. Okay. Thank you very much.
All right. Thanks for listening.
Hey, we got to go to break. We're running a little behind with all the calls coming in. Robert, give everybody the number at the office.
You can reach us at 800-974-0680. You can email us at info@kbrlegal.com.
And we're going to go to break. We'll be right back with more Ask the Experts and Community Association Law with Robert Kay. We'll be right back.
K. Bender Rembaum is a full-service community association law firm devoted to the representation of more than 1,200 community associations throughout Florida under the direction of attorneys Robert L. Kay, Esquire, Michael S. Bender, Esquire, and Jeffrey A. Rembaum, Esquire. K. Bender Rembaum is dedicated to providing clients with an unparalleled level of personalized and professional service regardless of their size and takes into account their individual needs and financial concerns. K. Bender Rembaum assists clients in all matters of association representation, including but not limited to collection of assessments, contract negotiation, covenant review and amendment, covenant enforcement, and construction defect claims. K. Bender Rembaum also keeps clients up to date on new developments in the condo and HOA law and how they are personally affected by them. K. Bender Rembaum provides prompt, effective, high-quality, cost-efficient, and understandable legal advice and services to a diverse client base. Call K. Bender Rembaum today at 800-974-0680. That's 800-974-0680.
We are back. This is the Ask the Expert Show. I'm host Steve O. We're here the very first Thursday of every month. We're here with K. Bender Rembaum. They are a community association law firm, and they cover all of Florida, but they're right here in South Florida. They also have an office in Tampa, new office in Tampa, and we
Not so new anymore.
Yeah, I guess not. It isn't. Also, if you want to give us a call here, the number is 888-565-1470. We've got we're going to talk about seminars today that you've got coming up. We've got a bunch of emails that people sent in. So let's get started. Do you want to talk about your seminars coming up?
Yes, this is a busy couple of weeks coming up. With the holiday season, it's all crammed into next weekend primarily, and then the week after on Tuesday, December the 8th at 5:30 p.m. These are all webinar type distance learning, as it were. We have a homeowner association board certification course, which will be taught by Emily Gannon from the Pompano office. There is continuing education credits for that one. And then the following night, December the 9th, also at 5:30, we have the Condominium Association Board Member Certification course. And that's going to be taught by Allison Hertz out of our Palm Beach Gardens office. Both are at 5:30 and they run till 8 o'clock. Both have continuing education credits for managers. And then on Thursday, December 10th at 11 a.m. to 12:30, we have a new program that's being presented by Sean Brown out of the Tampa office. Harassment, cyber stalking, defamation, and slander in community associations. This is a hot topic that I think is going to be very interesting to a great number of people. Currently, there are no continuing education credits for that, but it's a topic that I think is of great interest to a large number of the listeners out there. On December 16th at noon to 2 p.m., there's going to be the 2021 legal update, which is the changes in the statutes from 2020. There are continuing educations for that one. It'll be taught by Jeff Rembaum from 12 noon to 2 p.m. on the 16th. On the 17th at 12 noon to 1 p.m. With the Castle Group, Michael Bender and Jeff Rembaum will be doing their association leadership that they've been doing throughout the summer months and continuing into the fall. And then also on December 17th, it's a doubleheader day at 2 p.m. We have guest restrictions and screening tenants and new owners, much kind of apropos to the last caller, being taught by Karina Shea out of our Pompano Beach office. So we have 5 courses coming up in the next 2 weeks. Then we'll take a little break for the holidays and get back into it in January.
Okay. Hey, let's go to.
Oh, and by the way, go to our website at kbrlegal.com, click on the calendar, and then look for the events of their choice. Click on that, and that's how they register.
Okay, let's go back to our phones. Let's go to Audrey in West Palm. Hi, Audrey.
Hi. Hi, how are you doing tonight?
Thank you
Hello,
for holding.
Hi, my question is, if a secretary of the board records a meeting and from their private cell phone, can other board members request that she give the recording, or can they say no, it's their private phone?
Well, it is their private phone, and the purpose of the recording, I'm going to say, is to assist the recollection for the secretary when she prepares the minutes, or he.
Uh-huh. Okay, so the secretary of the board does not have to give the recording of that meeting if it's on her private phone, correct? Hello?
Oh, I think Robert froze up there.
You don't hear me?
Okay.
Okay, he's
I
back.
can hear you now.
Can you hear?
Yes.
Yeah, the recording of the
I lost it. I've lost the line again.
Yeah, it looks like we've lost Robert again. Sometimes that happens. You know, we're doing
Hello?
the Zoom. Oh, here he is. He's back now.
Oh, good.
I'm back. I say the minutes should not be a transcript of what you recorded. They should only reflect the actions taken. It should.
Hello?
You know, maybe we
Am I
can
gone
get,
again?
that's strange. And the weather's good too. That's another thing.
Oh.
All right, I think we're back again.
Yep,
Can you
I'm
hear
back
me?
again. I can hear you now. Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I was telling you that the minute shouldn't be a transcript of everything that took place, just the actions that the board has taken. Who's present, a motion that you're considering, and how the board members vote on it. That's really all your minutes should reflect, not who said what and detailed transcript of whatever speeches people make or questions that come from the unit owners.
Great, Robert. Thank you. Answer my question. Thank you.
All righty,
Thank
thanks
you,
for
Audrey.
listening.
We
Sorry
gotta
for the
get
technical
caught.
issues today.
Yeah, we got to get caught back up again. Let's go to break. Give everybody not only your phone number, but your website address.
kbrlegal.com, 800-974-0680.
And if you have a question for Robert, you can call us at 888-565-1470. It's 888-565-1470. We're going to go to break. We'll be right back.
K. Bender Rembaum is a full-service community association law firm devoted to the representation of more than 1,200 community associations throughout Florida under the direction of attorneys Robert L. K. Esquire, Michael S. Bender Esquire, and Jeffrey A. Rembaum Esquire. K. Bender Rembaum is dedicated to providing clients with an unparalleled level of personalized and professional service regardless of their size and takes into account their individual needs and financial concerns. K. Bender Rembaum assists clients in all matters of association representation, including, but not limited to, collection of assessments, contract negotiation, covenant review and amendment, covenant enforcement, and construction defect claims. K. Bender Rembaum also keeps clients up to date on new developments in the condo and HOA law and how they are personally affected by them. K. Bender Rembaum provides prompt, effective, high-quality, cost-efficient, and understandable legal advice and services to a diverse client base. Call K. Bender Rembaum today at 800-974-0680. That's 800-974-0680.
You are listening to the Ask the Expert Show with host Steve-O. We will be right back with more experts in the field of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. Join us every Thursday from 6 p.m. Now, get ready for more Ask the Experts.
And we're back. This is the Ask the Expert Show. We're on every Monday and Thursday from 6 to 7. The show this evening, our expert this evening is Robert Kay. He is a senior partner of K. Bender Rembaum. They are a community association law firm here in South Florida, but they cover all of Florida. They're one of the largest. So we got the best of the best. They've been with us for, going over 3 years now, and the phones just keep ringing. If you have a question for them, give us a call now at 888-565-1470. I'm going to try to get some of these. We get so many emails now that people who either don't want to call in or are afraid to call in, or they just want to listen on while they're driving home from work. So I'm going to start off with Jack from Coral Springs, who lives in a 70-unit condo. His concerns are two of the people on the board are real estate agents that actually sell property there, and he is wondering if that is a conflict of interest.
Conceivably, it could be. The fact that a realtor is a board member and selling within the community isn't necessarily a problem conflict of interest if the realtor is not using his position on the board to get special information and then making personal gain out of it. There should be a full disclosure to the board of the realtor's position and activities within the community. And as long as there is no
Sounds like we've lost him. Maybe we can get Robert to call in at 888-565-1470. I don't know why we're having so much trouble tonight. Maybe you can just call in, Robert, at 888-565-1470. Okay. There he is. He's calling in.
This is me.
Okay.
This is Robert.
This is
No, I'm on the show.
Okay. Okay, are you there? Robert? Okay, can you hear me?
Can you hear me? Hear me?
I hear you.
Okay,
talk into your phone. Let's go to Laurie in Boca Raton. You can hear me okay now?
I can hear you.
Okay. So she belongs to a condo association. She lives in a 2-story condo, and this is something we've heard before. The people below her installed a new air conditioner, which actually is installed on the roof, and it's making all sorts of noises and vibrations. She had her air conditioner guy come out, and he said that the people need to put on a vibration strap. That sounds kind of strange. But anyway, she wants to know who should, who's at fault, who should have to pay for that.
Or should communication to both the association and the downstairs neighbor, identifying the information that she has and the issues that she's having with the installation and the demand that it be resolved. It's the downstairs owner's responsibility to do it, and it's also the association's responsibility to make sure it's done right. So in that setting, notifying them is the first step. And then following up with the board to make sure that the association is following through as needed. If that doesn't happen, then she's probably going to have to get her own attorney to get involved and require both parties to get it fixed.
Okay. This is Willie from Delaware. He wants to know, what if there's a tie on a vote by the board?
If it, well, I guess we don't know. His question is if we're talking about in the election or in a vote of the board on an issue that the board is considering. It
Looks like it's a
condominium or an HOA.
Yeah, it doesn't say. It just says, but why don't you have odd number of board members normally?
Typically you do, but sometimes you don't. If it's a board question and it's a tie, then whatever the motion is fails. So if the motion is, let's sign this contract and engage this contractor, and the vote is 2-2, then
Okay. This is from Jason in Highland Beach. He bought a condo. He said, my upstairs neighbor must have soundproofing, as I hear, doesn't have soundproofing, as I hear everything above me. Can I find out if there is a building code for nuisance?
Soundproofing issue would be one that you would deal with the documents more so than the city ordinances or the ordinances. A news document as a civil matter, the downstairs owner can bring a legal action against the upstairs owner to compel them to stop the noise and the nuisance, but there's proof that they'd have by some form of a scientific basis to show the noise levels and how it's disturbing. And that once they meet those requirements, they should be able to prevail in a legal action to that end. It may not be an association obligation. Depending on the documents, it might be an issue between the two owners alone.
Okay. Here's Meredith in Palm Beach. They have a notice of an annual meeting needs to be sent 60 days before the meeting. She wants to know, is it 60 days from the stamp on the envelope or 60 days from when she receives it?
The 60-day notice is from the date of the meeting, so it's the postmarking when it's sent out from the community. That's the 60 days. How they prove it is typically by an affidavit that's signed by a member of the board or the management as to the date that they did it. So it's not about when you receive it, and it's not necessarily about what the postmark is, although that's an indication of when it was sent. It's important that it be done no less than 60 days if we're talking about a condominium, or that could result in the election being invalidated.
You know, this is something that I don't know if this is something you would call the police on, or if you go to the board on. But there's one of our listeners, Kathy from Hallandale. She wants to know: is it illegal under the governing documents against someone smoking marijuana because it's coming through her air system? She can smell it.
Well,
Does she contact the police or go to the board?
I would say it's not necessarily a board issue, but you could start there. It may not be illegal because there are legal methods of smoking marijuana in Florida, and within one's own condominium unit is one of those places that you can do so legally if you have the appropriate medical approval. So you'd have to check your documents, check with the board. You may not even know exactly where it's coming from sometimes, and that makes it more problematic to identify the owner.
Okay, let's go. This is Jack in Palm Beach. Most of his letters says how much he loves your show. Don't tell Robert that. He'll get a big head. He said, I'm so glad you offer the valuable information. I've actually been to your seminars. Wonderful. I'm trying to sell my house. A non-board member who's part of the welcome committee is telling potential buyers about violations on my house, and it's causing me to lose sales. Are they allowed to do that?
They shouldn't be doing that. I don't know if the violations are actual or he or she's making it up. If the person's not telling the truth to the potential purchaser, that could be a personal action against that person, a civil action for tortious interference with the contract. He should probably be consulting with an attorney. They shouldn't be. It's not something that, generally speaking, association representatives should be sharing with prospective purchasers about violations. Sometimes when they submit a estoppel request, association, they'll make inquiry, or the association will identify an existing violation. Since the owner is responsible, the new owner is going to likewise be responsible. So it really is going to depend on the facts of the situation as to whether or not that would be wrongful conduct.
Okay. We're going to go to our final break. If you have a question, give us a call here at 888-565-1470. When we come back, we have questions from listeners about websites. Give everybody the phone number at the office, Robert.
You can reach us at 800-974-0680, and our website is.
We're going to go to break. We'll be right back.
K. Bender Rembaum is a full-service community association law firm devoted to the representation of more than 1,200 community associations throughout Florida under the direction of attorneys Robert L. K. Esquire, Michael S. Bender Esquire, and Jeffrey A. Rembaum Esquire. K. Bender Rembaum is dedicated to providing clients with an unparalleled level of personalized and professional service regardless of their size, and takes into account their individual needs and financial concerns. K. Bender Rembaum assists clients in all matters of association representation, including, but not limited to, collection of assessments, contract negotiation, covenant review and amendment, covenant enforcement, and construction defect claims. K. Bender Rembaum also keeps clients up to date on new developments in the condo and HOA law and how they are personally affected by them. K. Bender Rembaum provides prompt, effective, high-quality, cost-efficient, and understandable legal advice and services to a diverse client base. Call K. Bender Rembaum today at 800-974-0680. That's 800-974-0680.
And we are back. This is the Ask the Expert Show. I'm host Steve O. Hey, listen, I watch national television and they freeze up all the time. So, just give us, I'm sorry tonight, we're having more problems than usual. Let's go to the phones, Robert. We've got Marvin in Fort Lauderdale.
Hello, how are you?
Hi, Marvin.
Good, Marvin. Thanks for listening.
Okay. Hi, I have a question about parking in a condominium situation where I live in a condo development where each unit is assigned an indoor parking space. And there are also several handicap parking spaces in the indoor parking area. The problem is some people who secure a placard for their rearview mirror that says handicapped use that to park in the handicap parking space and then either use their assigned space for a second car or rent it out. Is there any remedy that the association would have to preclude such behavior?
Generally speaking, the handicap parking spaces are not for residents, they're for guests. And the board should be taking a stricter approach on the use of the handicap spaces because they're very few, obviously. And if somebody needs a handicap parking space, the law requires certain accommodations be made if a request is made and they qualify for the need, then they would perhaps get a handicapped space, but then they would have to give up their assigned space. They don't get multiple spaces to have. They get what the documents allow them to have.
Okay, so the board can't take action against those who improperly use those spaces for their permanent parking.
Froze up again. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
On the phone,
there you go.
So the board has the right to preclude residents from using the handicapped space as their personal parking space.
Well, you're going to have to confirm in your documents, but from the ones I've seen, generally speaking, there's assigned spaces and everything else is a guest space. And handicap is not assigned. It typically falls within the common element guest spaces that are overseen by the board. And it should not be something dominated by one or two owners or residents. It should be available for its purpose as handicap parking for generally guests.
Okay, very good. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Marvin.
All right, then. Thanks for listening.
Robert, we got a lot of emails this week about, I guess, the new website, the new guidelines are supposed to go up. But I had a manager, a lady who's in a condo, 160 units. The manager refuses to update their website. We brought it up to the board meeting and we're told it's unimportant. What should we do? Shouldn't official records be up on the website?
Well, the website is supposed to reflect what the statute says it's supposed to reflect, and it doesn't have to have all of the official records, only those that the statute requires. The questioner didn't identify what record they're referring to, so I can't really say whether it is or is not one of the ones that's required to be there. The manager isn't the one who should be making decisions about what goes on the website. That should be up to the board of directors. If the board allows the manager to do that, then that's on the board.
What is the guidelines? How many units do you have to have that you need to have a website up? Is it 150 units? Looks like we want. Did you hear? Is it 150 units, Robert?
It's a single condominium of 150 units or more that's required to have a website.
Okay. Have they started fining properties that don't have a website up?
I've not heard of anybody being fined for that as of yet, no. And it's already a couple of years in.
Yeah, because I remember when it first came out, you didn't know how they were going to handle it for properties that did not put one up right away. This is Henry.
As far as what I've heard, there haven't been any findings of violation of any of our clients for not having websites, and I suspect there are some who don't, who should.
This is from Henry in Fort Lauderdale. He said, a portion of our dues are put into reserve, but we never voted on it and kept it up to date. Can they do that?
Well, if it's a condominium, the statute requires that all associations fully fund their reserves every year unless the board presents to the owners an option of something less or no reserves for each given year. The board doesn't have to offer that option. It's their discretion as to whether or not they do. In a homeowner association, they can only have the statutorily protected reserves if they were created by the developer or voted to incorporate into their budget by the homeowners. If that doesn't happen, then oftentimes boards will include in the budget an item that they call reserve, but it's really more of a contingency fund, and they're allowed to do that, and they can use the funds for whatever purpose the board decides, so long as it's within the scope of their authority. What they're not allowed to do is spend reserve funds that are statutorily protected, the kinds that are voted on by the owners or put in by the developer, for anything other than the purpose they're being held without a vote of the owner. And so that's all condominiums.
Here's George in Hollywood, who's a long-time listener. His HOA agreement signed a bulk cable agreement, and he asked to see a copy of the agreement. They said he cannot see it without signing a non-disclosure agreement. Can they do that?
The cable agreement should be a part of the official record of the association, but all of the owners and so I think if they're requiring him to sign something, that would not be a properly correct limitation. However, he doesn't have much in the way of remedies other than filing a lawsuit against the association for withholding access. In our association, there is no division of condominium type of an agency to be involved in that issue, so they'd have to go directly to court.
Okay. Well, we are leaving with a mess of callers. It's just we've only got a minute, and sometimes it takes longer than a minute just to ask the question. But I can't tell you how much we appreciate your phone calls, your listenership. Robert, give everybody the phone number.
You can reach us at 800-974-0680. You can find us on our website at kbrlegal.com. You can email info@kbrlegal.com. Hope everybody has a wonderful holiday season this year as best we can under these trying times. Look forward to meeting you all again next month when we get back together again next year.
Yeah, we will be back the first Thursday of the month with our community association, and we'll be back with you on Monday from 6 to 7. And everybody have a wonderful rest of the week. Robert, I love doing the show with you. You're the best. We'll see you next month. Have a wonderful holiday, you and your wife.
Happy New Year to all.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the Ask the Expert Show, featuring interviews with local experts in the fields of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. Call our office at 888-574-6999 to become one of our experts on the show. And tune in again next week for more Ask the Experts with Steve.